That's it. There was a little bit of a delay. Good morning. No, good afternoon. My goodness. Good afternoon, Mark. And good afternoon. So far, nobody yet. But
Anna, how are we?
Not too bad, Mark. Not too bad. You?
Living the dream as usual. There's lots going on in the world of farming and agriculture, and in the world in general. I think at the minute we've got there's crazy times in life, Anna, and then there's 2024.
We talked, right? Not last week, the week before we mentioned, we're saying, oh my God, there is so much happening. It's like really crazy times, to be alive, as you say, your words. And then suddenly it just continues. All this stuff is coming out, literally left, right, and center. It's actually mind-numbing. You can pretty much, I think now, do a video on every day, because there's so much of things that are happening in the food industry and anywhere else, isn't it? It's absolute madness.
Yeah, I mean, I said in a video the other day that, the Arla stuff was the tip of the iceberg. And sure enough, everyone was giving Arla a kicking. But then you actually look into DSM, which is the company that makes the Bovia product.
Yeah.
And Arla made this big thing about, they have no working relationship with this company. Well, you might not, but you do hold thousands of shares.
Yeah.
And they said that, Arla said they've got no working relationship with Bill Gates, but Bill Gates owns thousands of Arla shares. And you look through all this stuff and you think to yourself, God. But do you know what, Anna? What's been interesting this week, I had a guy wrote to me who is an investigative reporter.
Okay.
And said, look, Mark, I don't know if you're aware of half of this stuff. And I was just mind blown, Anna.
Yeah, we'll share some bits. We'll share some bits to what we find out with the viewers, can't we? Just so people, know a little bit more. And then...
I mean, one of the big things which has obviously come out is that the government have said in leaked dossiers that by 2030 they will, without a doubt, be feeding this to all cattle and cows. Well, they fucking well won't if I have anything to do with it, that's for sure.
Yeah. I've seen that as well. Yeah, the Mr. Stick your fucking nose everywhere. By 2030. But isn't it again a perfect example? They're telling us 2030. The agenda is there. They're just not hiding it anymore. So it's for people again who don't believe that, it's right there. So people need to start sitting onto that, don't they? And just trying to understand what the whole thing. Isn't it?
They're actually in the middle of building the factory. This is the other side of it. They're in the middle of building the factory in Scotland, where they're going to make Bovia. And here they are telling us that it's just a trial. It's not a trial. This is the first implementation of it. They're talking absolute BS, and they know they are.
Yeah, they invested what 10 million, I think. I read somewhere 10 million to build the factory or the farm, whatever they're going to be calling it. Yeah, isn't it? To make sure, but the funny, right? Again, for people, because there are still some people that don't seem to give a monkeys, right? Fair enough. If you want to eat crap and because there's so much of it, that's fair enough.
Knock yourself out.
No, but the fact is, right? Because they come up with that, and there's been now, oh my God, almost pushing 2 weeks now, right? Of the whole Arla thing, right?
Yeah.
What business sense does it make for them to come out with that? Okay, which normally they would like to hide that, because in fact, Marks and Spencer's has actually been doing this since April already, but they, kept this bloody quiet. So, what business sense is there for them to come out with that, and then people saying, well, actually, we're going to boycott and not buy any of the other products, and they show numerous amount of pictures from consumers that the shelves are full of that crap because nobody buys it, and they still then bring up the statement and then say, we'll cover a statement in a minute, but another statement saying they're going to be going ahead with the research. So clearly they don't give a shit about the money, because it's nothing to do with this money. It's nothing.
It's nothing. Now, Anna, if you dig down the rabbit hole, I did a video on this the other day. DSM own another company, and I think it's called Meatable. I think that's the name of the company. I did a video about this the other day. Now, they are the biggest shareholder in that company, right? Yeah. And that is a fake meat company. So what have they got to lose? As everyone's asked the question, what have they got to gain by killing their own industry off? Well, bear in mind that if you are Arla and you're DSM, right? DSM
Sorry, I do apologize for interrupting. Sorry, Mark, I forgot to put the comment on again. Sorry. Okay. Sorry.
If you're in the position that your DSM in your job is to produce Bovia and you know it's going to harm people and harm the cattle, you wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Or would you if you've got a hidden agenda? Because
of course,
if your agenda is to get rid of all the cattle, to get rid of all the sheep and all the goats and everything else that can produce any level of proper milk, proper protein, and then you come up with a substitute fake meat, what they can grow from stem cells, right?
Yeah.
Grown in factories where they control it 100%. The problem with meat and dairy is...
Sorry, you're cracking. Yeah, sorry.
The problem with meat and dairy is, Anna, that farmers control it. No matter how much they'll try and control them, they still control it. So if they piss the farmers off too much, they don't get it. What they need is absolute control of the situation. The way to get that is to put it into factories and farm it from factories and not from farms. And that's what they're after. And that, to me, they can write off. There's no way I'm participating in any of that.
No, but we covered that already like a little while back as well, that those factories, when I did the research on the Bill Gates, the lab-grown meat, it produces far more CO2.
Of course it does.
All the other stuff, then like it's crazy. It's the same thing, they're talking about the energy crisis and that sort of stuff like that, and then it's like, well, charging a Tesla takes as much as a charge, or not a charge, but around the whole village for a week. So all this freaking nonsense, right? So the lab-grown meat is the same thing. You're going to produce
exactly.
It's going to save the methane because we're going to do it, but then we're going to freaking mess it up with the CO2 and then ruin the environment that way. The crisis, that kind of thing, which is crazy. But one of the one of the viewers actually commented, and it's a fair point, interesting question, when they're going to lab grow the meat. He's like, well, as a meat, you have, ribs, you've got, steaks, you've got other parts, you've got the breast, that kind of thing, depending, and they're all different texture, aren't they, in different ways that you cook it. She goes, well, what's going to happen when they just print it? Well, you're going to just cook it all the same in a stew, and that's that? How you
that's easy, Anna. That's really easy.
Mm.
You won't get the selection. You'll just get steak.
Yeah.
And steak will be whatever you dissect it into to produce sausages or diced meat or whatever it might be. Will all come from the same cut. Bear in mind that there won't be any bones involved, so you won't be getting a nice T-bone steak. That's for sure.
No.
Your tomahawk's out the window, I'm afraid. Unless they grow it on a piece of wood, I don't know how it works.
Otherwise, a bone. Yeah, you never know. I'm sure they've got some genius things, but funny as well. Not really funny, but every time, right? Like we're saying, there's a hidden agenda for the Arla because they've got investments or Bill Gates, blah blah. What was it? I'm pretty sure we spoke about it like 6 months ago. Companies like Resolver or something, the weed control company, and then they invested in totally something else. Oh, what was it? I can't remember.
They all what I'd class as what I'd call double dipping.
Yeah,
they're betting on both sides. It's a bit like I forget which one it was, which produces the Roundup.
That was a Roundup, not Resolver. Sorry,
Roundup, and they also produce the heart tablets, don't they? Well, if you don't if you let the dandelions live, you can eat the dandelions to cure the heart problem. And it's like, kill the dandelions, we'll give you a tablet.
Exactly. That's it. We actually, funny, it happens obviously more than we know. This is just a couple of things that came out. But Dan, my other half, yesterday, for the past couple of days, sat home because it's, in a storm, blown about, not a lot going on. He just had a look, and there's some bits coming out there for... don't want to put any misinformation out there. This is just what he found out. A lot of things there that is banned for us, or they tried for us not to have, is actually have, in fact, quite a good positive effect.
Yeah.
Like a tobacco, apparently, they're all trying to ban tobacco because it's bad for you.
Yeah. But nicotine good for you.
Yeah, it cures certain, quite, again, I don't want to say things for people to get...
No, it does. It cures cancer. It's a proven fact.
There was some... You froze again. There was some other things.
It cures cancer. It's a proven fact.
And there was something else as well, some sort of a very basic tablets that apparently also claims to do those kind of things. I know we're not doing against that, have to be careful because of what obviously the things are listening. But a lot of stuff there that is clearly there, but it seems to be what they don't want us to have it's in fact could be, you know,
Anna,
a good
raw
thing,
milk's
but
a classic example of that, isn't it?
yeah.
Classic,
Yes.
classic example. It's interesting. I've spoken to 2 or 3 companies this week that do raw milk, and I advertised one the other day and sent him a message and said, "Look, I've been sent you details. I'm going to cover you in a video." And the guy said, "Yeah, thanks very much. I've got a few more details." Promoted it out, and the guy messaged me and said, "We've had a really good response." Then I spoke to Dora's Dairies down in Swindon yesterday, and I said, "John, how's business?" He said, "It's never been so good." And it's like, that is what I want to hear, because from, you know, I know, you know, that raw milk's good for you. They'll tell everyone it's bad for you. You'll get, you know, you'll get ill from it. You'll get this and you'll get that. What they don't want to tell you is how good it is, because if you start having that and stop having all the shite they want to give you, you know, then they can't sell you it. And that is a big thing. I mean, one thing, Anna, I will say, you know, we've put this new website up, this Food Finders Hub.
Yeah, which is at the bottom, so people can see it in the end.
Yeah, well, we've put that up. Anna, we've had almost 4,000 people subscribe to that in about 8 days, right?
That's amazing.
And what has shocked me, I did a video yesterday, which I think has gone out to about 20,000 people. The amount of comments on there is just hundreds upon hundreds of comments, all from people that are waking up at this point in time going, "I didn't realize all this other stuff was going on. I just worried about the food." And I think the food is a combinational thing what's going to bring people together over jibby jabs, over aeroplanes dropping stuff, whatever it might be. The combination is the food, and that's going to be very powerful moving forward. Very powerful as we get, you know, as I said, imagine if we could get 50,000 people signed up on there.
Yeah.
And then we could wake up 50,000 people in one go. Just mind blowing. And that's where we need to get to, is to wake up the masses real quick.
Yeah. The other thing, good point for all the ambassadors who are obviously looking for. So first of all, I said to you, I've got now local a farm that I found literally like 13 minutes from me, which I'll make a contact to come and visit, where they do sausages. But there's a lot of the information out there, because since the Arla hoo-ha, all the farmers had, and I know some of them got a little bit upset because they had no choice but to come out and put statements forward to say that they don't use that. I don't know what's a big deal. What's a big deal to come out and say we don't use this, give yourself extra promotion? I don't know. But the fact is, you can scroll through social media, loads of them there now. So all the people, if they spot one, maybe get in touch if it's local, come and see them and encourage them to join, because they kind of given us that even just the milk farmers at the moment are out there. So we just need to just grab them, put them into that into the website, because they all out coming up to the surface to tell us.
I mean, I think we've had over 200 farms join so far, which is just brilliant. One thing, Anna, I don't know if you saw this morning, there's a video doing the rounds of a lady gets a bottle of Tesco's organic milk.
No, I haven't.
You've not seen that? Okay, so she looks all round the bottle. She holds the bottle up to the camera at every angle. No mention of Bovia, Arla, anything. She turns the bottle upside down and gets a pencil and goes across the bottom of the bottle. And stamped in the bottom of the bottle, it says Arla.
Is that true? Like, is it?
I'll send you the video. In fact, it's on my Facebook. I just put it on the Bowler Hat Farmer Facebook page.
Sorry, you're crackling again. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's on the Bowler Hat Farmer Facebook page. So have a look, because it's just priceless. And she goes all over the bottle. She doesn't say a word. She's looking for it. And then right on the bottom, she just gets a pencil and goes like that, like you would as a kid, you know, highlighting.
I understand.
Brilliant.
Do you know what worries me? Because for the time when it's coming out, I'm thinking, okay, well, they started the trial, or going to start the trial. Chances are that the milk potentially is still not contaminated, or the meat. But then you hear the M&S came out with it saying they've been doing this since April. So does it mean that they've all been doing that? So I don't know if you've seen my video, but I've done a video talking about them, and I've compiled the list of questions to send for the Freedom of Information request to the FSA, because, well, let's be frank, they're the ones who have approved that wonderful thing. So this list of questions actually is as well, have they started the trials, or when they're going to start the trials? Are there going to be any say they've got to mark their milk or their meat that they're using, that kind of stuff? So that'd be quite interesting. They technically, as I understand, have to respond by law within 30 days, I believe. But whether they'll be responding to the questions or finding politicians answers way around it, I don't know. But I think it's the people who want to know. Because my point is, like, if they haven't started this or find a brand that's not been, like, people can stock up on certain things. Like, if you don't give a crap about the Arla, oh my God, you can pick up a load pack for like £1 now. And you can pay, what, £7? £7, £8. People put the little Loki thing in now. They can't bloody give it away because nobody wants it. You know, great business sense, by the way. So if any of you who don't care, go and pick up yourself some bargain butter, or in fact, it's not butter. It's
not butter. It's plastic.
I bought, right, for the research purposes. It was Anchor, spreadable. Right, I'm like, okay, Anchor's normally it's top of the you know, high-end brand, and I think it was a £5 for the bleeding tab. I said, you're taking a bloody Mickey Michael. Nonetheless, and you have a look, right? It's got 28% rapeseed oil.
Yeah.
It's got some water, some salt, some, well, obviously milk, obviously, and in the end, it's got beta carotene. I'm like, okay, so we came to this stage, right, in this world, in our food industry, and this is to me a perfect example that butter companies, I'm going to just refer to them as a butter company because it's a spread company, had to add on orange coloring to the spread to make it look like butter.
Yep.
Are we seriously
exactly.
That at a stage that we really need to be doing that? It's spreadable, okay? It's not 100% butter. We understand. Do you need to be adding on colorings to make it more orangey? Seriously, what's wrong with a pure white butter or spread? It does not need to have additional of colors. And again, many other people as well commented. They said is an industry. There's so many other things that could be added on that don't require to be, put on the labels. And God bloody help us all, right? Whatever other shit they add on to other things, it is absolutely worrying.
Anna, I don't think we've seen the tip of the iceberg on this yet. I genuinely, Anna, off camera, I'll share a couple of things with you that I'll send you the emails of things that I'm getting in from different people because you're a great researcher. You'll go away and dig it all out where I haven't got the time. But there's some great things coming through from people where they're going, do you know about this? Have you seen this? Yeah. And I'm going, that can't be right. That just possibly, but it's mind blowing. And what is coming out of this new website is the amount of people that are saying, oh, you're frozen again.
You've got
What's great is coming out of all of this is that people are opening up. People who are in the industry are opening up, and coming forward and saying, oh, when I worked at this place, this was happening. That we had secret tankers coming in at night and, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
I think that the rot has really got to the point people are peed off with it.
Yeah.
The general public hold all the knowledge. Bear that in mind, Anna.
Yeah. Do you think
if someone upstairs is doing something wrong, someone downstairs knows about it?
Yeah. Do you know? Because I know some people say it's all going to really blow over. People are just going to refer to doing what they do. Do you believe that's true? Do you think people are just going to kick you off and just go back and come back to buying the same stuff?
No.
I can't see that.
I'll tell you what I think. I'll tell you. Right, my experience shows me, Anna. Right. This is. I'm going to put commercial hat on here. They know that Arla as a product is damaged, but they don't care. Right? They do not care. Right? What are they going to do? They'll come up with a new brand. All of their new products, like, I don't know, oat milk or, almond milk, whatever it might be, what they already own all them companies.
Yeah.
They'll be increasing production on that a month in advance to counteract that in the shops. And all we're going to end up with is a different product by the same company under a different label.
Yeah, with the same additives.
Same people running it. That's what's going to happen. Now, what I will say on that, Anna, is, we've got almost 4,000 people joined the website now within 8 days, right?
Yeah.
That says to me that, albeit that in comparison to how many millions live in the country, that's a small percentage. However, 4,000 people in 1 week there have put their name to the fact that they're not happy with what's going on. And you've seen the numbers on my social media are going through the roof as a result. Now, that says to me that a lot of people are paid off. A lot of people are ready for a change, and a lot of people are making that change.
Yeah.
And the farmers, this is what I was saying in the video yesterday, Anna, that now that the important thing is the farmers start to realise there can be change which can benefit them. They just need to put their big boy braces on and go and embrace it and roll with it, because the people do want what farmers produce, and that's good quality food.
Yeah.
But farmers do need to look at. I mentioned this yesterday. And where we are in East Anglia, it's either wheat, barley, or sugar beet.
Yeah.
Most of that ends up in the processing system, right? We don't actually need any of it. Let's be honest. So what makes more sense is for these farmers locally to start saying, okay, well, what vegetables can we grow?
Yeah.
What pulses can we grow? What lentils can we grow? What beans can we grow? Because if people do come away from the meat side, and I pray to God that a lot of farmers will still produce meat, but there is going to have to be some level of protein comes from somewhere. And I do think that a lot of that will come through the beans, pulses, lentils, things like that. But we need to know where it's coming from. We don't want it to be imported in case it doesn't turn up. No. People need that, and farmers need to step into that breach and earn money from it.
Yeah. Thing is, with the meat stuff as well, the scary part, with the same as with the milk and the meat, the lovely the report that I show you, right? That's been kindly sent to me, which is, I assume, not meant to be in a public eye for average Joe. People like us.
I don't think so, no.
So this is the outcome of assessment of the nitrox, basically 3-knob, right? And it's 24 pages. And this is a research that's conducted by the company themselves. And like I said to you, the alarm bell's ringing. If I create a company that produces something that people are not happy about, and then we want to do risk assessment, well, let's do a risk assessment ourselves. They'll just make up some figures and, shit like that, which makes no sense, right? Should be done by the third-party company. But nonetheless, right, they were, as they call this in the news, always in the middle of conspiracy war, because they brought in a statement, blah, blah, blah. Well, and they state for his words, right, that it doesn't harm, it doesn't have any cancerous effect, blah, blah, blah. So very basic. And then the GSM came up as well with even a bigger statement of pretty much the same nonsense what Ali did, but in a bit more of the details there. And then I look at the 24 pages of stuff, which I'm yet to just digest a little bit better, because there's a hell of a lot of information in the words. But unfortunately, to the things that people that they call the stuff misinformation, right? Because it was everywhere. We all been labeled conspiracy theories and misinformation, right? My point was misinformation. They're worried about the Bill Gates, or misinformation about the risks and for the stuff to be spread into the milk. Not being funny, but you are the one that published an initial thing and saying this cause, you have to wear gloves and it's dangerous to blah, blah, blah. You can't touch it, it's corrosive, it's going to, reproductive harm. And that points out certain things. And in terms of, without sort of giving away, I said not to give the misinformation, but it's there. Basically about
it's their own documents. It's not misinformation, it's their own documents, Anna.
But it is affecting the organs, reproductive organs, and shrinking internal body parts inside. So if you tell me this meat's going to be
think about that from a cow point of view, from a bullock point of view, infertility, right? What's the quickest way to drop the numbers of animals?
Yeah, of course.
Deal with the fertility. They did it with the jibby jabs, and miscarriages and things went through the roof. We're going to see. We saw the same thing last year with all the lambs. Loads of sheep were miscarriaging, only giving birth to one lamb. We're now going to see the same thing again with the cows, and it's just textbook. We know how this rolls out. We know how they play it out.
Yeah, it's because obviously they're worried about the cancer risks, right? And they said, well, they confirmed that it causes no effect, like no, But then you read in there, and there were things in there that it was tested on rats. They were affected and had, but they deemed them as inconclusive, and they put it down to, well, out of the portion of rats, some of them would have got cancer anyway. That pretty much in a nutshell. This, as I said, I'll hold in that a little bit further, just out of interest and stuff. And I don't know whether I'll do a video on this, because I probably get burnt down or so. I don't know. But it is interesting. It's very interesting. The point is to people to actually understand that don't always believe what those companies tell you, because a lot of it's not true. And let's come back to 1950s. If people thinking, well, Allah swore there was 15 years of research. Well, let's come back to 1950s with the thalidomide, when apparently that was safe for people to use. Only after X amount of years found out they cause all the birth defects, across the whole world. And suddenly it's not safe anymore. So,
Yeah.
and I'm sure there's many more examples of things that were like this, even in the, closer times
Without a doubt.
to now than they did in 1950s. So, we can put it down to, yes, lack of research. Well, especially if you're doing research and then publishing your own content. Who knows? It's yeah, I don't know. It's really interesting to see where the whole thing, fiasco, is going to go, because so far people are not giving up. So it'd be interesting to see what interesting, but also in the way a bit scary. Because what I was heading with this is with the meat, because we love beef, don't we? Well, majority of people do anyway.
Well, I ain't giving up meat. I know that much. I don't care what they tell me.
No. Mad. Anyway, right. So, another thing. Sorry, coming back to the, they're talking about the meat. Obviously, whole idea of the agenda. They don't want us to eat meat because they want us to eat the lab-grown meat. Well, come back to the paleo diet. When the people just eat the carnivore diet, in other words, as well. Obviously, come for the Paleolithic era where people just ate meat and God knows what else, pretty much meat. The research shows, right, the life expectancy of those people was between 50 and 60 years, right, which is, hear me, it's okay, but in fact that was brought down because it's funny that the average life expectancy, by incorporating the early death in infants, if that makes sense. So if somebody lives to 100 but they have people died at birth, they put one person lived to 100, one person died at birth, average 50. Do you see where I'm coming from? This is how apparently they calculated the average life expectancy. So if you think that the point is they had a really high mortality rate for the babies, for obvious reasons, obviously, no doctors, giving birth, that kind of blah, 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 blah. So kind of makes you think, right, when they say to you, well, the eating meat, too much meat is really bad for you. Well, I bet you if you take away all the early mortalities of newborns, then chances are if they live 50 to 60 those times with the mortalities, something tells me that those people probably lived, the ones that did live, probably lived quite a long and wouldn't say healthy lives, because obviously but they would have lived a good enough time. So it's something else to consider, isn't it? It's
indeed
people come back to basics. So anyway, right, so let's do, quickly, let's cover that one. We can come back to the farming in a minute, can't we? Just briefly, because obviously it's tomorrow, isn't it? But have you seen, right, do you remember we spoke to a couple of months back about Denmark? They were meant to be introducing some tax on cows and pigs.
Farting.
Yeah, they finally now actually brought in a first emission tax. So for the cows and the pigs, they have to pay per year, per cow, per pig. I think it's like 34 euros or something, or I don't know what. It's Denmark's in euros, aren't they?
You imagine that? I mean, when I grew up, I worked on a pig farm. I had 10,000 pigs.
Yeah.
And you're not telling me that's not about taxing people?
No. But you know what? Because you remember we covered this.
An extra 34 million a year.
Yeah. Do you remember? We did say, just imagine if they done this here. Do you remember we talked about it? Oh my God, that's going to be like catastrophic because people will give up.
They will.
The farming, say, animals.
Or it's going to put the price of meat through the roof.
Yeah, but funny enough, they decided to go by the other route by just killing them instead of us just not eating it. Yeah. Isn't it?
Well, Anna, what you got to understand with all of these things, what the WEF put in place, that they drop it here, there, and everywhere in slightly different manner.
Yeah.
All to get the same outcome, but it's always dropped in slightly different manner, and they see how people react to it in what way, and then they find the path of less resistance, and that's the one they take.
Yeah.
This isn't rocket science. This is all premeditated, thought out, well calculated business decisions.
Yeah.
There's nothing here. There's nothing happening by chance.
No. They're just so much more ahead of us, and in terms of knowing how to play us. But somebody said,
only at the moment. Only at the moment.
They've got 6,000 years of information on the planet and ourselves and human behavior that they just pretty much know. I think majority is how to control that or how to get the effect that they want. It's like clearly, I think, with the Arla thing, when they come out with that, like we said, what business sense doesn't make? It doesn't. But chances are they know probably, and they can foresee the reaction of, the hoo-ha wave happened, and then something going to happen is going to come down, and they're like, is going to be something that they know there's going to be there. That's going to put the solar trust, that thing, one way or the other.
But look at it. You and I both know, Anna, it does make sense.
Yeah.
It does make sense when you look at it for what it is. Here's the company causing the problem. Here's the company with the solution. They're the same bloody company.
Yeah.
They know they're all working towards the same goal, that by 2030, we're not going to have any real dairy and we're not going to have any real meat. Simple as. And that's what they think they're going to put in place. So if you create a problem in 2024 of one and come up with a solution in 2026 for another, and that 2 years you transition everyone across, because all they're going to do is they'll legislate this so much that farmers can't breathe. That's where they're heading.
Yeah.
Just keep pushing and pushing and pushing until people are pushed out the door.
Yeah. But people commenting, right? They're saying like, okay, let's start about making our own meats, like extra chickens for the meat, not just the eggs. Some people were talking about the guinea pigs and rabbits, breeding that kind of thing for food. But it's got to be, they will be again one step ahead and try to tell us that we can't. Like, is another outbreak of the bird flu, isn't it? And there's another outbreak of a mad cow disease. Norfolk? Or is that the chicken ones in Norfolk? Anyway, it's another one. So would they then bring in some sort of legislation or the rules for the people to stop having well, chickens we know, because I already kind of covered this, haven't they, with the bleeding registration and all that kind of thing. But what about the rabbits and guinea pigs? Like, some people
bizarrely, Anna, you can keep an alpaca without a license.
Right. Is it because you can't eat them?
You can. They're beautiful. They just taste like no different to a sheep or goat.
Have you tried one?
Yeah, I used to breed them.
Ooh.
It's a really nice meat. You froze again. Alpaca meat's really nice, and there's no license on them at this point. Hasn't ever been a license on alpacas.
Yeah, I think because it's probably a harder animal to keep. You need more land. Like chickens, anybody can have a chicken if you've got a bit of a load.
Yeah, they're not the easiest thing to keep on the village green, are they? You know what I mean?
No. Have one in the backyard, in the house. But people saying like if they're desperate, they're going to be breeding rabbits and guinea pigs inside the house. Because, rabbits do breed like rabbits, and guinea pigs, I hear, breed like rabbits too. So,
Yeah, I mean, they put about this myth during and after the war that, rabbit meat gives you, you can die if you eat too much rabbit meat.
Really?
It was just, what it was nothing to do with that at all. It was, they said the same about game meat and so forth. And what it was is because it was to stop people poaching. The land, the gentry, the elite, which are always at the top of this BS, were going around saying, oh, no, well, you'll get cancer if you eat that. And the poor people would go, all right, and sir, I best not have any. Well, the doctor told me. Of course, the doctor was giving 50 bob to talk shite to you guys by the landowner, and that hasn't changed.
No, I know. Madness, isn't it? Absolutely madness. Oh, well, right. So anyway, the farming thing next Tuesday, because I've covered this vaguely, because it feels like the wave down a bit in the media. Obviously the farming protest in four four capitals, isn't it? You've got London, Birmingham, London, Edinburgh, Cardiff going ahead.
I think the one in Midlands is today, isn't it? Moulton Mulberry's today.
Okay, but the majority of them are tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've got to be honest, Anna, I've made a decision after the debacle of the last one in London. Yeah. I'm not actually going. I made a decision. I made a decision. Yeah, I made a decision that I'm not going. And the reason being, after we had the conversation after I went last time and down to London with the farmers, and too staged, too controlled, I understand the world we live in, Anna, but, when farmers have to speak to the Met and say, would it be all right if we come?
Yeah.
That's hardly a protest, is it? Just if they think you're coming on, on Tuesday, turn up on Sunday night, block the city for a month and no one goes in or out. That's a protest, right?
Yeah. Well, that is in France, haven't they? Recently, haven't they? They've barricaded, I wasn't not the parliament, but whatever, roads, God knows what, and they sprayed shit all over everything. Yeah,
well, maybe that's, I think it's terrible that farmers would feel they need to go to that extreme. But you can understand why they might do that.
So where does it head in, do you reckon, then? Because obviously the farmers have come up and said, like, look, if nothing changes, we are going to be stop supplying. Like last time they mentioned about stop supplying the vegetables, and we've seen in certain areas, and I've seen firsthand in my supermarket the lack of it. But this time looks like they're going to be a little bit more serious in terms of like, well, we're going to go to a further extreme of not supplying or in the bigger quantities.
You know, there's also been the other side, Anna, which hasn't been on the main media either, is about the fish guard port, you know, and different docks across the country which have been barricaded, Dover.
By who?
By the farmers.
All right, okay.
You know, they've been barricaded for weeks.
Yeah.
You know, the food's, you know, they're stopping food coming in the country. That's the biggest protest there at the moment, is to stop the foreign stuff. Yeah. And the challenge we have on all this, Anna, is the farmers know they're treading a fine line, right? Because from their side, they're desperate to keep the public support. Yeah. And if the food dries up too much on the shelves, the public support will soon disappear.
Yeah.
Right? They saw this with the miners and the fishermen, you know, and the government knew just exactly how to play it, how to play the camera footage via the BBC to make the farmers look bad, like they did the miners, like they did the fishermen. And I think the farmers are weary of that. So they've tried to go the negotiation road, but we all know they're not interested. You're not negotiating with Westminster. You're negotiating with Davos, and Davos don't care. All they're worried about is that commercial decision, what's been made, is followed through so that that funding ends up back in their pocket and taken away from 1 million farmers worldwide. Yeah. That's all it comes down to.
It's just frustrating that after so many attempts, like they got to just pull the plug and just collectively just say, do you know what? Just not supplying, just none of them do this, because otherwise you kind of waste of resources, waste of the time to try to do this, and just to be smacked in the face and say not happening. It's like, well, okay, put your foot down, literally just put the foot down and just see what happens.
I think personally, Anna, I think what I do see happening, I've had a couple of big farmers message us about the website, and they're saying, you know, how's this going to work? How's that going to work? And I'm like, well, this is the idea of the site. This is the principle behind it. And I think what we're going to see is a lot of farmers are transitioning at this point in time. Right. And they're transitioning on how they're going to sell things and where they're going to sell things, who they're going to sell it to, and how they're going to get paid. Bear in mind, they've been used to dealing with one supermarket or maybe two, getting paid for it in 6 months' time or whatever, 3 months, 6 months' time. They don't have to have any interaction with the customer apart from an email once a day to say what they need to produce for the next day. Yeah. This has all got to change. So I think what you're going to see is, and what they're growing, because a lot of them are monoculture farms, Anna. They grow one thing, you know, and it might not be something for a supermarket directly, but if it's wheat, barley or sugar beet like where we are, then that's going into processing plants that are probably owned by supermarkets anyway.
Yeah.
So what we've got to see is farmers having a lot more diversity. That to me, that's the answer. The diversity, get more animals back on the land for manure, for cover crops, to eat the cover crops off. And I think we're going to see some really big changes in the next 18 months, 2 years in the food industry.
Yeah, because they got to really start now, don't they?
Positive. But I think that's where the site will come into play, Anna, because a lot of these farmers are desperately looking at this point in time going, oh my God, if we change what we get, where we're going to sell it, who's it going to sell it to? Suddenly, you know, we rock up like a load of, you know, idiots in a bowler hat and my mate who's going like that. And we go, we've got a solution. And they go, oh, Jesus. Yeah. You know, here we are. They're used to dealing with multi-billion-pound concerns who have all the answers. And then suddenly they rock up and we go, that's a great idea. We'll try and implement that by tomorrow morning. Thank you very much. Yeah. And just because we want to, not because we're gaining anything from it. And that is, I think, what's kind of taking the whole thing by storm, is that people don't have to pay to go on it. Farmers don't have to pay to go on it. Customers don't have to pay to use it. It's free. You know, yes, we like donations, and there is a button on the bottom of the site telling people to donate. Don't get me wrong. And I think that's where we've got the community as a whole, the farming community as a whole, Anna, has got to change.
Yeah.
And they've got to come together and bring that change together. It's no good half of them wanting to change and the other half thinking they're going to stick with a game plan, you know?
Got to be all, absolutely. But it's coming up time and time again about people saying people that can't get to the farm shops is farmers start to deliver, well, I assume like they talk about meats and
it's interesting.
Even I remember, right, here say we used to live just outside Brighton, We used to have a company. It was the fishmongers, because they have a fishmongers on the coast. There are quite a few anyway. Specific day a week, a van will show up with a fish, be it on
Yep.
the ice already frozen, but it's fresh frozen, not frozen,
Yeah,
defrosted,
yeah.
frozen in the supermarkets and defrosted, and then you can't freeze it the third time, and then tell you, oh, you can't freeze this because it's already been frozen. Yeah, but you froze it, defrosted like 2 or 3 times before it got to my shelf. So I'm sure I can freeze this one more time. The point is, sorry, digressed, that the vans used to come about, and we were only talking about like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And they were delivering fish, and that's all stopped. There used to be, again, living in the Brighton on the race course, there used to be a massive, like a lorry type meat guy. He come in and he did this little like London market. He was like taking bits of meat. That was super cool. I absolutely loved it. That disappeared. In Merthyr, when we first moved to Wales, it's a massive shopping mall, right? It's like the biggest one in the world. Maybe not in the world, but the biggest one in the country is huge. In the car park, that guy used to come there the weekend, or one of the guys, with the meat. Massive display. Again, he's like standing there screaming, taking a kind of like bits, saying, oh, give me this, give me that. It was just fun. And it stopped. It was then, it's like, why have we stopped doing that? It's nothing to go, okay, you have to pay for the car parking space, I suppose, to pay the shop owner to park yourself, but with that amount of meat and that amount of people going to the massive shop, why are they not doing that? This is the people that already had those intentions, and they were so good, and they could just continue and grow that kind of thing. I would love to have a fishmonger show up here once a week, or a butcher in a van and just delivering it. Why is that? Why are they not doing that?
Well, I'll tell you what I think, Anna, is one, those who were in it were pushed out by supermarkets selling stuff out as lost leaders because their business were being so heavily subsidised by the government.
Right.
Secondly, I think what you're going to see, I actually think you're going to see, and someone just used the word on here, I think you're going to see a resurgence of this stuff. We've had people contacting us saying, if I get a van and I go out selling produce, can I stick your name on the side of it? Well, that says to me that people have got to see this for what it is, Anna. This is a change in time, right? Mm-hmm. If we can get enough people registered on this blinking website, that we've got a database of people in, I don't know, in a particular town, that we can say we've got 500 people in that town, and someone says, comes along and says, oh, I'm thinking about going to Nuneaton, I live in Nuneaton, I'm thinking about starting a round with a mobile shop. Can you tell people? And we've got 500 people, we can go, boom, 500 people know about it overnight, and here's all the addresses where you need to turn up to.
Yeah.
This is a completely different changing world we're about to enter into.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Right, and we also have to take into account, Anna, if 15-minute cities and things come into play, this food is not going to be traveling around the planet like it is now.
No.
And that
help the environment.
That says we've got to start looking at local, sustainable, environmentally friendly.
Yeah.
And, and if you can produce food, whether that's fresh veg, fresh dairy, fresh meat under those categories, then I think if you could distribute that to local people, bang, you've got a money earner. Yeah. The farmers need to just think outside the box for a little while. If a farmer's sitting on hundreds and hundreds of acres and they normally grow one crop, with AI coming across the country like it is, there's going to be a lot of people out of work. I think farmers need to start thinking to themselves, right, what can we diversify into? What can we, how can we change the way we farm? That's where the crux to all this is, Anna. And them keeping it in small amounts of everything so they can distribute it. Not going, oh, I've got 200,000 tons of wheat. I don't know what to do with it. I'll have to sell it. That's what we need. We need people to think in smaller amounts of everything.
Yeah. No, sorry, go on. Not sure.
No, that's...
Okay. But no, going on to the people obviously registering, obviously it's so important that the guys will help to obviously spread the videos, spread the websites. Obviously, we're doing this, we're in it together, trying to obviously get the word out there. And I said we prepared the whole idea, I think, as well, a good idea too, like you agreed as well. Locally, I said I found the farm, that's Alpaca's farm, and apparently they do their own sausages. Although it's not mentioned on their website, but it is to what they said when they registered on the hub, they're doing sausages. So I want to try and visit the small businesses, the local businesses say to me, stay in Wales, then at the same time, it also, the bigger following they will have, then, well, if we do visit a business that allows us to come and visit,
absolutely,
rather than somebody say, if somebody is a little bit further to drive and wondering, well, is it worth my time driving? Not sure. I know you still sell sausages, but how many types of sausages do you have? Is it worth me driving for an hour? So if I pop in there, we'll do a video if they're prepared to do an interview, show you around the farm, that kind of thing. That could be a good thing to do. It's a lot of, obviously, effort, time involved, but it's a good thing. It could only be a good thing, just in the name of helping other people finding out about those businesses and actually visualize what's there. It's like I said to you, there's a farm nearby where I get the milk. It's not the farm, it's a machiney thingy.
Yeah.
So, I emailed him just to asking about the, obviously, bova, and then obviously came back saying, confirming, that yes, they're not using that, blah, blah. And of course, I thought it would be a great idea for me to pop in and you can show us your cows, because they pride themselves on, grass-fed cows, organic cows, everything great. Well, just imagine, video of coming in there and, filming a cow, chewing on a bit of grass, farting away, it would be such a good thing, right? It could be such a great project that will bring a benefit to so many people. And of course, in time, making us, everybody to try to find and eat the better food. And of course,
Anna, what I foresee in this, I have to be honest, is the change has got to come from the grassroots up. It ain't going to come from the top down. We all know that. This is going to come from customers, consumers saying what they do want rather than what they don't want. It's all good and well telling Arla what you don't want. Arla don't care what you don't want. But if you message a farmer and say, listen, I bought your milk last week and it was absolutely superb, please, can I have some more? They'll up production in accordance. And this is what we need to just, unfortunately, I think, Anna, that a lot of people are still in the belief that the system is going to be their saviour. Yeah. Well, it ain't. That system's going to be the downfall of anyone who stays and plays the game. It's as simple as that. The system can't sustain and continue the way it is. We all know that. We've been saying this for years. And I think, if you're in the position that you've got one supermarket you buy from and the supermarket chain crashes like they did during the pandemic, then, you're up against, oh my God, where do we get food? If you've got 10 people supplying your food and suddenly you can't get, goat's milk, but you can get cow's milk, oh, well, and this is what I think people need to start thinking about food differently. Yeah. And farmers need to start thinking about production differently. That's what we need. That combination of those two coming together and slotting in is where the excitement for me sits in all of this. Yeah.
Thing is, with the farmers, the milk farmers, again, I don't know so far a milk farmer that can produce cream or butter. But to me, again, that's no brainer, because with the Arla thing, all the butter or majority of butter is affected. So is it harder? Is it hard to digest?
Anna, it's not that it's harder. It's a completely different set of licenses.
Oh, I see.
Obviously, why wouldn't you have different licenses, Anna? I only know because a friend of mine set up doing a mobile milk wagon a few years ago and used to come and stand outside my shop, and sadly they packed up, which I was gutted about. But they looked at doing butter, and one of the problems they also have on that side, that apart from the licensing, is the fact that obviously most people buying from that situation want to buy full cream milk.
Right.
If you produce butter, the only way you can get that is to take the cream out of the milk. So what you end up with is semi-skim milk, where nobody wants to buy the semi-skim milk. So the value of the butter has to go up, Yeah. So what they then looked at was, we could sell semi-skim milk to the cafes, and think, oh, no, you can't, because you haven't got a license to do that.
I see. All right. Okay.
These bastards have thought about this from every angle.
Yeah. Well, I guess the people have to. I've done a range, and I've recorded one which I'll publish, because, you said a lot of people are asking for an alternative. So obviously we're putting up. We're discussing the problems out there. People would like to know the solution. So, solution so far, obviously, trying to do the best you can from scratch. So the main thing is to find your milk farmer. So we're talking about dairy, just specifically dairy for this moment. Find yourself a milk farmer. And then you can learn how to make cheeses. Yeah.
Anna, I need to often just deal with something and be back to you in 2 minutes.
Yeah, okay. Right. Shall
okay, sorry.
That's okay. Okay. He'll be back. We'll just wait for him for the minute, guys, if you don't mind. Whilst Mark is doing something, is there any questions for anything you guys want to know? Oh, here he goes back. Oh, no, he's not. Is there any questions for the minute? Maybe buy a goat. Yes, the goat. I would love a goat. I would love actually a goat. I don't have a space for the goat, unfortunately. They eat everything.
Annie, you back with me? Hello? Hello, hello, hello. Where we go? It's gone off.
Okay, guys, sorry, I'm back. I just had power cut. Can you hear me? Are you still there? I just have to connect to my phone. But yes, I just had the... Here we go. Are you there? Hold on.
Back in the room.
Oh, I just had a power cut.
Oh no.
I did. As soon as you went off, I'm asking, like, say, anybody got any questions? And my light's gone off, power's gone off. So I just connected to my phone, but I just got to warn you that connection, chances are, is going to be very unstable because I just get really shit phone signal at home. So it might not last. So,
I'm used to unstable women, don't worry.
I'm now in the dark. But yeah, we literally had 3 power cuts at night time during a storm, but only for like a few minutes. And now it's off. So I thought we were lucky, then we're out of the woods, but clearly not. Is everybody still there? Yeah, people still there. Thank you guys for hanging around.
Yeah, thank you for holding yourself while I had to go and sort something out. Sorry.
That's right. Just say you need to pee. That's fine.
No. I got a delivery coming in from the port in Liverpool, and the guy's just messaged me to say he's now leaving with it. So I just and I was like, oh, is he stuck there or is he coming out? What's happening?
No problem.
So yeah, I think in all of this, Anna, the big thing is that what I'm seeing is the messages I'm getting. Bear in mind on the videos we're getting hundreds upon hundreds of messages. And there was one comment on one of the videos the other day, got 450 likes on it, and I was like, wow. Jesus, that says to me that people are getting involved in the conversation. They're not only listening to the video, they're going through the comments and and want to be interactive with the other people. And I think for me, that says there is a movement here. And, you know, someone said yesterday, you know, this is a revolution, you know, and I said, it is, it's a food revolution. And that's kind of what we want to bring to the table. One other thing I was going to say, Anna, is we jested about this the other day about going on tour.
Yes.
I've had ambassadors all over the country wanting to get involved in this. I've had chefs, I've had news reporters contact me who, when we've mentioned this, and, you know, and different people, when I've mentioned it on my channel, different people that are going, oh, we want to be involved in this. Tractor runs, people offering rooms, all sorts. So early part of New Year, I'm going to start. Early part of New Year, I'm going to start putting all this together, and we'll sit down and put some dates in the calendar of like what areas, who wants to cover, and, you know, I'm going to see if I can get a bus. That's the plan. Get a bus and go on tour.
You do bear in mind, I do have a 4-year-old that goes to school, so.
No. School's never a good thing for a 4-year-old. Learn much more on the road. It's like being involved in the circus, Anna.
It's just, no, which I was saying before I got rudely interrupted with my power. The people coming back to basics, doing the basic things, finding milk. I've done a video a little while back about making a mozzarella from the milk, because again, a lot of people don't know what to trust at the moment. It takes time to find out which brand you can trust, but to be fair, it's still better if you do it by yourself. So homemade is always better. So if you know how to get yourself a decent milk,
I bought what's the
milk churner.
You know Kilner jars.
Oh yeah.
What have the wire pop lids? I bought a butter churn.
The milk churner.
A milk churner. Gloria said to me, "Oh, I'd love to be able to make butter," and I thought, "Oh, Christmas present coming up." So I've ordered one. So shh, don't tell her. Hope she's not watching. Could be. So I've ordered one because excuse me. I thought to myself, that is something what we could be in control of. Yeah. You know, and going from butter to cheese, you know, anything like that. As long as you can get your dairy, which I know where to get, then you can get the rest of it. And that is where we've got to step through with this and really, really make a difference. Yeah.
Well, I've recorded now, as I was saying, I've recorded the mozzarella's done. I've recorded the cream cheese video, which is like cream cheese is the easiest bloody thing to make. So that's going to be coming out like in the next day or so. And next on the butter, I've done compound butter video a year ago or so, but I've got some nice cream, which I'll probably record, I don't know, today, tomorrow again. So people just get the idea. Things are so simple. Things are just simple if you just know how. And go back to
you know how, that's the crux in all of this, isn't it?
Yeah.
One of the things I have been asked for, just so you're aware on this, Anna, the biggest thing we're getting requests for on the website is recipes and how-tos. Okay. So we're putting a news section on the website.
Okay.
One of the next things we're going to put together is a food section, which, you know, obviously I know this lass down in Wales, and I'm hoping she's going to put some cool videos together for us. And you know, so because we might as well put, you know, we can embed those in. You go to your channel, it gets people watching things. But you know, people want to. One woman messaged me yesterday, and it's made my day. And she said, "Mark, since you've been talking about this, and I've stepped away from the supermarkets, I'm going to a farm shop now." She said, "I've gone to a baker." She said, and to get some flour. She said, "I've made my own bread, got the children involved in making the food. They're sitting down, helping me do dinner now instead of being on computers." She said, "This has brought the family closer together." She said, "I'd forgot how much I enjoyed cooking." That to me speaks volumes. And I think that's where a lot of people are. But a lot of people are messaging going, "Mark, love what you're talking about. We want to get away from the supermarkets, but there's this one problem. I don't know how to cook."
Right. So what?
And that's me. That's me, Anna.
Yeah. Can we find out what, like to start with? It's always got to be like a step by step from like back to basics. So how to make bread, how to make butter, how to make anything else like from scratch if people want, and then progressing into like food preservation, how to then pickle, how to do salting, how to do curing. Oh, you're gone? Oh no, you're back. You're back. Back in the room. Back in the room.
So I think you're right, and I think we need about, you know, I mean, Anna, someone like me, I didn't learn how to do lasagna until my kids decided to come and live with me. My wife and I separated some years ago. and I had no idea. I hadn't been in the kitchen for 18 years. So for me, you know, even something as simple as a lasagna, or, you know, I don't want to say make light of this, but like something like a Sunday roast, you know, the basic how to prep your veg, the best way to cook it, how to make a batter pudding. Most people can't make a batter pudding these days, you know.
No.
Aunt Bessie, no.
Oh.
It's only got about 4 ingredients.
That is really right now.
What?
So really bad signal then. But no, but again, maybe put out to the people to what they want, or to say what you want on the channels. If I need to refilm something for that specifically, just ask people, and obviously now we can ask people, then people can then comment in the comments to say what sort of basic things they want to do. Obviously scroll through what I've got so far, getting ideas of, you know, we this, or you know better what you want for your for the website as well. It's got to be like strategic, I would assume. Strategic, like if you're just totally new to all of it, but you want to be basically, isn't it, fresh, just basics, cheap, cheerful, not say cheap, cheerful, but healthy, you know, and that kind of thing. So good idea. I think
well, it's one of the biggest things we've been asked for, so it seems silly to not give the people what we want, because I want to do this. I want to build the website and based on feedback from consumers, customers, general public. What is it they want? Because at the end of the day, it's their website. You know, everyone goes, "Oh, you've done really great putting this website together." It ain't mine. It's as simple as that. This belongs to the public. You know, I want this to be about achieving something for the consumer. You know, the public and the customers. We need the farmers to react.
We want to change the food industry, Mark. This is
Is that too much to ask? Genuinely?
Yeah, exactly.
They just need a real good shake-up. I mean, they've had it too easy for too long.
Yeah. It's our mission now, isn't it, Mark? We're just up to here in it now, aren't we? Like literally. So
I think it is,
super important that
we're on one.
Yes. Yes. Right, okie dokie then. So we have any questions, guys? I did say to you we're going to try to do Q&A in the end, if any questions, because obviously, unfortunately, we're missing conversations and guys are chatting anyway. One, are you frozen?
No.
I know you're back. So if guys any questions, please just pull in capitals right now. So before we disappear, Mark's disappeared.
Have I?
Hello.
Hello.
Is there?
Hello.
I would blame now. Okay,
have we frozen?
Q&A all we need to do.
Hey, there's the live.
Here we go. We're back. For a second. I said all we have to do just to do last Q&A, and that's that. If anybody, and he's gone again.
Have I?
Oh, that is terrible. Are you back?
Oh, I'm back. Oh no, now you've gone. Oh dear, Anna. Oh, she's coming back into the room.
Sorry.
Hey!
What a joke right now.
Anna's back.
He's my signal.
Back again.
Oh no. Sorry, phone signal bad here. So anyway, any questions, guys, please ask. But whilst you're typing up, if anybody typing up, the only question we had so far, when I mentioned we're going to do live chat, which is not quite relevant to our farming things, but somebody asked about the New Zealand meat and how safe is it? And they asked about the, like, a halal, what does that mean for... Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I personally don't think anyone should be eating New Zealand meat. Personally, that's my opinion. I don't like how it's travelled here. I don't like how it's transported. I don't like the length of time, how they gas it to transport it.
Not working.
Is it not working?
No, you're back in again. Sorry, you're just really not. But sorry,
oh.
I don't know if people can hear you now.
Am I back in the room?
Yes, for now.
Hey, yeah. So for me, New Zealand lamb, it travels, thousands of miles. It's travelled. It's contained in gas chambers to get it here. I don't want that in my food supply chain. Simple as. I won't eat it. I wouldn't buy it and give it to anybody else.
Yeah, but somebody else has said the halal meat, and I think majority, if you Google, obviously these specifically with specific culture, but the halal meat, obviously they are unfortunately due to the religion, they they're not allowed to cow the animals if they've already been dead, kind of thing. So they're not allowed to stand it. So they kind of just straight in, unfortunately, and that. So this is the answering who asked what the hell is and what does it mean for British people. Well, I don't think a lot of people agree with the whole thing. It's totally a religious thing, but again, it's a personal choice as to what people do. The only thing, is still there?
Yeah. I'm still here. You're frozen, but I'm still here. I'm still here. Back in the room.
No, I'm not working. No? I'm not working.
You're not working. You're frozen.
God, I gotta go and see whether it's tripped out the thingy or God knows. Anyway, sorry. It's pointless continue now because it's just not working.
I think we're an hour in anyway. Anna, shall we say call it a day and do? Yes. You know where I am. You're welcome to grab hold of me later in the week if you want to.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
When we've got a better connection.
I know. Yeah, when I'm not on my phone. Yes, thank you guys for joining us. I do apologize for the power cut and stuff, and we shall see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.